Welcome to the Riverside Country Club. You are watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliant. I'm Kevin Kyle, and with me is Bob Sherrard, and we're going to be covering this draw number 2. And tonight's game on sheet 2, we have Cousins versus Crawford. On sheet 3, we have Como versus Quillian. And our feature game, sheet 4, we have Team Levesque versus Team Mallais. So Bob, in the first draw, Levesque lost a close one to Quillian, so they come in at 0-1. And Team Mallais won over Cousins. They come in at 1-0. So important game for Team Levesque.
Definitely an important game. You don't want to start off 0-2 in an event like this, so they'll be coming out with their best, I'm sure.
Okay, and so Team Mallais has the hammer, virtue of winning the draw to the button. And so Team Levesque leads it off. The lead, Taylor Devlin. Taylor actually curled her junior curling out of Manitoba. She's employed at the City of St. John as a community developer.
Yep, so they're starting off going into the house. So looks like it might be a conservative first end. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, we see that frequently in these 10-end games. Teams just want to play a little conservative out of the gate.
So this is their second game of the day, so they'll be a little bit more comfortable with the rocks and the ice than they might have been in the first round.
So leading it off for Team Mallais will be Jane Boyle. Jane's a councillor in the town of Sussex, and she's a civil engineer. Her home club is the Thistle St. Andrew's Curling Club in St. John.
So there was a little upset there on the very first rock. They threw the wrong color, so it took a bit of an adjustment time to change the rock.
So these rocks were just recently sanded, so we should see lots of curl, Bob.
Yeah, there's been a fair amount of curl at the club all year. I actually curl a couple of nights a week here at Riverside, and the ice has had lots of movement in it. So I suspect with the new floods and the rocks just being touched up, that there should be lots of movement as well.
Okay, so Taylor Devlin with her second shot, being asked to remove the stone in the rings. We're used to seeing some rocks run fairly straight on the outside here, Bob, at Riverside.
With the weight up. From what I've noticed over the last couple of days with the new flood and the rocks, it's a little sensitive to upweight on the outside, but there's a fair amount of movement at the end with draw weight.
Yeah, that was a lot of weight on that hit. So Sarah asking Jane Boyle to throw up guard. So Michelle Barkley. Michelle curls out of Capital Winter Club.
So with the corner road and the 5-rock rule in play, Team Levesque is going to a center guard. So it looks like we may get some rocks in play after all.
And that's what the viewers tuned in to see. And that's a well-placed guard. Really curled at the finished at the end.
Did.
So Jody DeSola getting set to throw her first rock for Team Mallais.
Jody actually started her curling career here at Riverside, I think, as an 11-year-old.
Yeah, 23 years ago, according to her bio.
Right on.
Jody's a social worker at the Department of Social Development. And she went to the Worlds in junior, so she has a bronze medal at the World Junior in her pocket.
Yep, she's had lots of experiences at Canada Games and national championships at both the junior and Scotties level, largely, I guess, as a member of Andrea Crawford's team, or Andrea Kelly at the time.
Michelle Barkley being asked to take out that Mallais stone.
Good control of weight.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the keys. You don't need to overthrow it on this ice. So Jody with her second rock here in the second end. Team Mallais with hammer. And hits made.
Yep, another good throw.
So the third for Team Levesque, Michelle Majot. Michelle curls out of Curl Moncton. She's currently employed at IGT as the Senior Quality Assurance Manager.
This one's going to have to move a little.
Seem to get started outside a bit, but with that down weight,
compensating weight for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
And it looks like it just rolled out. So Sarah indicating you can see the come around. This is Kathleen Award. Kathleen curls out of the Capital Winter Club. Kathleen has been to the Scotties in 2017. She's a communications program coordinator at Sport NB. Really good finish there. It just goes to behind the tee line.
So the ice is moving well. It's not super keen at this stage. About 14 seconds to the back of the to the 4 foot from hog to hog time.
It looked like the first indication that we're going to play a hit on that yellow stone, but. This is a spot we were talking about earlier, Bob, where we need to watch that.
Can tend to run a little straighter. It's certainly not a place where you want to overthrow it by any stretch.
You move the broom in a couple of inches and get lots of curl.
Yeah.
So. Sweepers are on it early.
And there's a lot of movement early.
Yeah, so with, we saw Michelle throw a couple of soft ones there that really curled.
Yeah, I couldn't tell from the line here whether she was all the way out to the broom or whether it did just go more than anticipated.
Kathleen with her second stone here in the first end.
Yeah, this is a fairly aggressive play in that you could consider with the hammer maybe just go to the open side and you know, trade rocks for your deuce, but you make this good, you got a chance to give yourself 3, I guess.
You certainly didn't want to go behind the tee line here, I wouldn't think.
No.
The teams did have 10 minutes of practice before the game to get used to the speed. But it doesn't take long for the speed to change here.
certainly an advantage that us, Monday, Wednesday club curlers don't have, where you come out the first end and a lot of guesswork. So they do have an opportunity to get a feel for the ice.
So Sharon Levesque getting to throw her first rock here without hammer. So she's going to play a little hit and roll here, Bob.
Yeah, I didn't see where. I'm assuming she's looking for a little flop towards the other one, but I don't suspect there's a double opportunity there. They don't line up quite well for that.
Sharon's been to 4 national championships. She's currently employed at the Dr. Everett Chalmers Regional Hospital as a nurse in the psychiatry department, and she curls out the gauge. Might have got that one started just a little bit.
This one's kind of moving from her for sure.
Just got a slither there and moved it back. I'll be interested to see how our stats keeper, Adib Saman, is going to score that one. I'd like to thank Adib for being our stats keeper tonight, and we'll be able to provide you some updates on the individual and team curling percentages. So it looks like Sarah's just going to try and sink another one in around there, Bob.
Yeah, if she can get one sort of top 8 and block off the path to those back ones, she's going to have a good opportunity here.
Yeah, and Sarah does have the hammer, so a chance to apply some pressure. So Sarah's currently on maternity leave. Her and Jeremy just had a second child, Roan, recently. So this looks like it's a little heavy. Didn't quite finish.
Yeah, she certainly gives an opportunity for Sharon to perhaps get out of this with a double or even potentially a triple if she was a little on the high side. Yeah,
so opportunity to get out of this. So she was looking at giving up 2 or maybe 3. And now the force is back in play. Sharon with her last rock of this first end. Close to that line. I expect this would curl pretty good, Bob.
Yeah, she's definitely making contact. So, she removed 2 from the rings. That leaves a draw for 2 for Sarah Mallais.
Which I think Sharon probably pretty happy after the way things were shaping up after her last shot. So after her first shot of this end, to only give up 2 here.
I'd say you're probably right. That if there's such a thing about giving up a happy deuce, that might be it. Although the draw hasn't been made yet either.
Yeah. So Sarah Mallais with the hammer here in the first end. Draw to the full 8 foot for a 2-0 lead. Well, the sweepers are just watching it.
A little wider path than our last draw down there, but still sliding awfully. There, we were giving away the deuce, and it's going to be 1 with hammer.
Okay, so that would certainly feel like a steal there for Team Levesque. So after 1 end of play, Team Mallais will take a 1-0 lead. Second end, Team Levesque will have the hammer. Updating the other scoreboards. So on sheet 2, Looks like Crawford is up 1-0 on Cousins. So Crawford is 1-0 and Cousins is 0-1. So important game there for Team Cousins. And on sheet 2, looks like Como and Quillian blanked the first end. And Como's 0-1 and Quillian is 1-0. So on each sheet we have a team with a win and a team with a loss. So after this draw we could end up with 6 teams at 1-1. The event is it's a round robin, so all 6 teams will they'll play each of the other teams, and the top 3 teams will advance into a playoff. So Jane Boyle here to lead things off for us in the second end. Sarah looking for a guard.
Looking for a guard, right? It's a high guard for sure, but it's splitting the center line, so it should get some action going.
Jane's a seasoned veteran with over 34 years of curling experience. Now Taylor Devlin. Taylor's been getting involved in coaching juniors. It's good to see the players giving back. Bob, you know what you know all about junior coaching.
We both had our day. I think probably about 8 or 10 years of pretty serious chasing kids down the road.
Yes.
Yep. That's nice. Nicely behind, about 3/4 buried.
Just to the top, at the top of that 4 foot, so that's a good placement. So you don't want to be behind the tee line or give something for the other team to tap and be all over that button. So Jane Boyle with her second stone here in the second end. Is this just a freeze, Bob, or
yeah,
try and tap?
Yeah,
or?
she just called the freeze. But I thought she cut down the ice a little bit, but it's looks about right. I think you'd call that just about perfect, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Although here Adib marks pretty tight, so again we will have to check to see that he might only give a 3 out of 4 there. We'll get an update from Adib after the second end on how the stats are shaping up. Of course, at the end of the game, there's only one stat that really matters.
Yeah, Adib and I curl together on a regular basis with our senior and masters team. So if he was as hard on us as he's renowned to be with these guys, we wouldn't want to see the score sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a little bit more going out front right now than Sharon may be interested in having, but
yeah, pro side miss there might have been maybe heavy, not to guard that up.
And again, my son always said a pro side miss is still a miss, so go for the make.
So Jody just rubbed off the center guard there. So things are a little more open now for Team Levesque.
Yeah, although she would have an opportunity to remove that yellow one if she wanted to, and she's choosing to play a freeze down there. So this could get kind of jumbled up in the middle.
Still relatively safe play with the 4 foot wide open. Those two guards there are off the center line.
A little heavier than anticipated. Hangs around to lie to.
Yeah, good shot there from Michelle Barker.
I didn't actually see the call here, whether she was planning to hit that and flip behind the guards or to flip over in front of the other red.
Yep. So Jody Soul here being asked to play that. It looks like they're playing that hit and roll.
Yeah.
And nicely made.
Yes.
So Michelle Barkley with her second stone here in the second end.
A little down weight or try to hit and flip into the forefoot. Lie to again.
I think she wants to be careful not to get right in the flop in behind that yellow, because there'd still be a play to raise the yellow back onto the red.
Okay, so she does remove the intended rock, but probably rolls a little further than she was hoping for.
She is lying 2 and 3.
1 and 3, I would think.
Sorry, yes, 1 and 3. So Sarah and Kathleen talking about the kind of weight they want to throw here. Some good communication, make sure they're on the same page for the weight.
Well played.
Make the double and the roll.
Make the double and the roll, exactly. Oh, that was beautiful.
You might have, yeah, we might see those guards come off now. Sharon's looking at the peel.
See if she can get rid of some rocks up front and maybe do a little collateral damage in the house with the red one that she promotes.
So Michelle Majot with her first shot here in the second end. Being asked to peel something off, maybe make the double peel.
Look at this.
Oh, great shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a good cleanup shot there from Michelle.
Sure. The Mallais rink needs to be a little careful here, not to knock that one back into their shot rock.
Yes.
Playing to hit and flop over under the guard just off center.
Kathleen Ward being asked to make this hit. So certainly things have changed in favor of Levesque here. Chance to make a roll behind cover with hammer.
Yep, that previous rock by Michelle.
Had to make that peel.
Cleaned up a lot of damage.
So Michelle now being asked to make that hit and roll. Sweeper's trying to carve it in. Maybe a little more weight than you'd expect to see for hit and roll. Like, you want to stick around?
I think so. Like in the first end, her takeouts were down a little bit and maybe moved more than she anticipated, so that kind of might be sitting in your head when you're getting ready to throw.
Yeah, the best way to take the curl out of the rock and just throw more weight. So Sarah's gonna try and come around that guard. Try and get a piece of that forefoot. Sarah Mallais is also out of Coral Moncton.
Certainly on a nice line.
Yeah, good job by the sweepers to judge that. Jody DeSola, Jane Boyle.
That's gonna put a little pressure on Sharon.
So Bob tells me she's going to try and just pick. Do you think she's going to try and stick around here, or?
I'm guessing that we're going to be looking at some downish weight and maybe hope to hang around on that far side. But I guess we'll see in the delivery whether if the weight's up, then she's just playing to pick it.
I think I'd like to see a little more ice and a little less weight.
Well, then she must have heard you because she just moved the broom.
Okay. Yeah, that was a tight line. Too early, Bob. Be aggressive and try to draw around yourself and get to the forefoot.
Yeah, I guess I can't really tell from our position here whether this thing looks fairly well buried, but if she can get it with hack weight or better. Yeah, there was very little handle on that rock, and it just kind of just short of the hog line. Went from a good line to trouble in a hurry.
So Sarah's just looking at bearing another one in here.
Another option would even be to be higher up in the 12-foot and make the draw to the 4-foot more difficult. But there's more than one way to plan.
Yeah, so it looks the way it's shaping up is Sharon's going to have to make a draw here to the 4-foot for one. There is a chance this would set up a double and Sharon could play a hit and take the blank. So that'll bring up the force.
There's certainly a couple of different ways Sharon could play this. Either throw draw weight, or sort of just tap weight down to the one at the back of the 4-foot, or it looks like she's just playing a straight up hit.
Yeah. I guess one school of thought is you might want to try and establish your draw weight early in the game. But I guess you're facing two. You want to go with what you're more comfortable throwing. So Sharon Levesque with the hammer here in the second end. Down 1-0. Looking at 2 Mallais stones in the rings. Shamajo in the house calling the line.
Wow. She certainly didn't baby it, but it's It's good for one and tie game after 2 ends.
Yeah, mission accomplished. Well, looks like so after 2 ends of play. That's 1-1. Just about to be handed some stats here.
Might be a good opportunity to do an update on the scores on the other sheets as well.
Yeah, so on sheet 2, it's 1-1 between Cousins and Crawford. And on sheet 3, so they're still scoreless through 2 ends over there. And on our feature game, Levesque and Mallais, it's 1-1.
Low scoring affairs right across the board here.
Team right half more here in the third end. Just looking at the percentages for leads. We have Jane Boyle at 100%. And we have Taylor Devlin for Team Levesque at 69%. So Jane Boyle shooting lights out early. It's only after 2 ends of play. Also at this time, I'd like to, Hibbie Curling would like to thank its partners, Kruger Products, makers of Scotties, Papa John's Pizza, Sims Home Hardware, and the province of New Brunswick. So Taylor Devon here to lead things off in the third end. Just being asked to throw up a center guard here, Bob.
Yep. Once again, probably looking for it about halfway and on the center line, so it's fairly close.
Okay. So Jane Boyle being asked to.
She was looking at 2 different alternatives, either corner or top 4, and I think the team voted top 4, so that's where she's heading. Always interesting how some of these teams run as a democracy as opposed to the skip just making the call.
Yeah, and each skip has a different style, and it's important for a team. Like, that's one of the things, as a coach, you try to establish what the right level of communication is between the players that the skip wants to hear. Some skips don't want any feedback.
No comment. Some of us like lots of feedback as long as everybody agrees with us.
So Taylor Devlin with her second stone here in the third end. So we're playing the race to the middle. Can certainly bury rocks around guards here on this ice, Bob.
There's no problem doing that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, you got to be careful not to come out the backside. So that slides behind the tee line. Jane Boyle with her second shot here in the third end. Just trying to lay another one down on top of those. Above the tee line.
Yeah, things could get pretty jumbled in here with, one more and then the next one's on the pin.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see if one of these teams bails out and decides to peel off that front.
That's a little shorter than they were hoping for, and adds a little bit to Levesque's cause in this case. Without hammer.
Yeah, with hammer, pro side miss. To be a little deeper. The team without hammer is looking for guards. So Michelle Barkley play her first here. Michelle's 88% through the first two ends.
Oh, it's interesting. We talked a little earlier about this particular turn being maybe a spot where it didn't curl quite as much, but that's about the third rock I've seen go down that line that's over curled their expectations. So maybe there's something new happening here.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. So Jody Solo getting ready to shoot for Team Mallais, and Jody at 81% through two ends. So all the players are shooting big numbers here early. It looks a little hot coming down there, Bob.
It does, although they were on it to kind of hold it out. Yeah, certainly dislodging that back one was not a bad play for them. That was right behind the red.
So Sharon's indicating another freeze down there onto the button.
Tight to that red one at the top of the 8 foot stump of the button with draw.
Yeah, it certainly keeps curling after it hits the rings. So Michelle Barkley with her second stone here. And this stone is curling hard already. Little rack on the front.
Yeah, it might have been an opportunity to to play a little bit more weight and get rid of the yellow and roll over behind the guard. But as I say, there's always more than one way to attack strategy. Like I always tell my team, I seldom talk about strategy after a miss shot. If you don't execute, it doesn't matter what you call.
Yeah, so we're seeing both teams with the whole team engaged in the shot column. So it looks like Sarah's going to ask Jody to play the little hit and roll off here. Try to release one of those red stones and flop over behind the guards. So good setup right now for Team Mallais with hammer.
Well, certainly makes the hit, but doesn't quite get the roll she was looking for.
So Michelle Majot getting ready to throw. So Michelle is at 63%, and Kathleen Ward is at 69. So close matchup at third.
So Michelle's being asked to throw a little more weight at this one to see if they can get rid of that yellow and possibly flop behind the guard. Oh.
Gotta be careful. They get straight by. They might just pick that red out. That looks like it's gonna wreck. Yeah, so it seems like what you indicated, Bob, that maybe that little more weight would have been the call there. So the advantage keeps switching back and forth here.
There's so many rocks in play that there's just so many choices.
Mm. As I said, she's at 69% versus 63 for Michelle Michaud. Again, trying this little hit and roll again, like they tried last time.
Looks like they're going to get a little more movement this time.
Yeah. And a little bonus off out the back. So it's a lonely red rock in there.
It is, but you know, you look and say with hammer, although you did get the roll, it kind of covers your shot rock somewhat. It also covers the number 2 opposition stone, which if removed could make a few of the other yellow ones go up.
Second stone here. Looks like there is room through the port there, Bob, to make a hit and stick on that shot stone.
There definitely is a path through that hole, I guess.
That's the call. So Michelle Majo has been asked to play the hit here. Sweeper's trying to hold it.
So they're lying at least 1 and maybe 2 after that.
Yeah, it looks like they're lying 2. So
not sure if the yellow rock at the top of the house, how it compares to the one on the back of the 12-foot, but
so Catholic Award with the second stone here. And the third end is going to try and remove that red stone and flop in.
So Riverside Club just put in all new cameras, so you'd be able to have a good look at what shot if you happen to be downstairs, but that's not our vantage point.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the overhead cameras for our telecast this evening. So Sharon is looking at the hit through the port again. So that was a great shot by Kathleen to get the hit and get the roll. Put some pressure on Sharon here to make this shot through the port. This is Sharon Levesque's first shot here in the third end without hammer. I'm Kevin Kyle and I'm with Bob Sherrod, and we're coming to you from the Riverside Country Club in Rosslyn, New Brunswick. So close line on that one.
They just lost it. It was holding nicely, and when it started to go, the sweepers couldn't hold it.
Okay, so Sarah Mallais, she's got a hammer. This is their first shot, so looking to bring one in there above the tee line. So she got a couple of options here, Bob. She can go around her own on the left as we're looking at the rings, or around the one on the right.
That's true. I would guess by this call that yellow may be lying 2 now. It's also tempting to run that red one at the back and make several of your other yellow ones grow up.
Yeah, you could make Sharon look at 4 with Sharon's last shot, and if she doesn't make a perfectly buried shot, it'd be a big end. we're 1-1. It's only the third end. Sarah can afford to be aggressive here with the risk reward. There is an opportunity for a 3-ender.
It's kind of a staggered port that she's drawing through here, so it'll be interesting to see if it's moving, if they can actually hold it on their intended line.
Yeah, so it seemed like you'd probably have to come very close to that red guard.
I would have thought so, but it looks like it's going to maybe over curl here a bit.
Yeah. I think maybe she was just worried of going on the intern side and just giving Cheryl something to just follow down and take the end away from her.
Yeah.
So it's like Sharon's going to take a shot here at the shot stone.
After several passes at this with on the intern side, looks like, well, I was going to say it looks like they're going to the out turn, but they're going back to their comfort zone here.
Yeah, this is a turn that we've been seeing them play. Thank our cameraman Lauren Webster for the great camera angles that he's providing here this evening. Thank you, Lauren. So skip percentages, Sharon Levesque through 2 ends, she's at 56%, and Sarah Mallais is at 50%.
Well, she successfully removes the opposition rock and rolls to a pretty decent spot. Put a little bit of pressure on Sarah.
Yeah, so it changes the ice a little bit up here for Sarah. So it looks like this is a hit for 2, Bob.
Once again, that would be my guess, but
so 1-1. This is the hammer. So Sarah Mallais trying to. It looks like a hit for 2.
Sensitive weight.
So I think sweepers need to stay on this and not lose it. It will continue to curl as it gets close to that line. Oh. Well, I guess we're going to go for the plan B.
Yes, little luck goes a long way sometimes. I'm sure she still won't be happy with the 1, but
so it'll be a 2-1 lead for Team Mallais through 3 ends. So Team Levesque will have the hammer down 1. Updates on the other sheets. We've got some big updates. So on sheet 2, looks like Team Crawford took a 4 spot in the 3rd end. So they're up 5-1 after 3. And on sheet 3, Team Como took a 3 spot over Team Quillian, and so they lead. Como leads 3-0.
After a couple of blanks,
so
I guess they really got it going.
Yeah. You are watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Lion. I'm Kevin Kyle, and with me is Bob Sherrod, coming to you from the Riverside Country Club in Rosslyn, New Brunswick. So Jane Boyle set to lead things off here in the 4th end for Team Mallais. So it seems story of the game so far, Bob, both teams have had opportunities, and the other team just hasn't capitalized.
That's pretty much what I'm seeing here.
Well, they got to work this one to get it over.
You'll have to keep an eye and make sure, see if the ice is slowing down or they're just giving it a little bit too much respect after being heavy on a few draws earlier.
Yeah, that's, they're certainly making an adjustment. So Taylor Devlin to lead things off here for Team Levesque. So Taylor's being asked to put up the corner guard.
Looks like that might be a little on the warm side for a corner guard. We're gonna be well into the house.
And that slides right to the key line, so Sarah will ask Jane Boyle to remove that. So after that hog rocked, Jane Boyle will have to make a contribution to the piggy bank, I guess.
Couldn't do much better than that.
A nice hit there, nice bounce back shot.
Of ends with lots of rocks in play and a few dicey situations, they seem comfortable with an up and down the ice end here.
Yeah, it's just the difference of that first guard not being made changes the whole complexity of the end. It just shows, you know, it's how important that lead position is being able to get the end set up. So Taylor got that one out there a little bit.
Sarah an opportunity to get a guard out there and see where things unfold.
Yeah, Jody DeSola being asked to place the guard up here. And the guard's nicely made. So Sharon Levesque and Taylor just to come in and just tap this rock or just freeze on it?
Just just settle in front of it. I think this is the shot she wanted to play on the last one, but was team voted to go with the head. Obviously, she's not afraid to play with rocks in play. She wrecks out front, but it gives her a couple of corner guards, which may come in handy.
Yeah, that was Michelle Barkley, just wrecking on that front guard, which is a good result. End up with 2 corners with hammer. And Team Mallais asking Jody to put that center guard back up. And she gets this one a little tighter.
A little tighter, but well covered. Sharon's asking for that guard to be removed, and I suspect she would either be hoping for a double or even to roll into the rings on one side or the other behind one of the corners.
And also Michelle Barkley being asked to play this hit. Nice weight there.
And she does make the double, so well played.
Sarah's without hammer, and she's going to ask Kathleen to come around the corner.
I think it's probably just a case of there's corners on both sides, and you can't get rid of both of them. So you might as well put one in there to block them from getting there first. Although typically without hammer, you don't want to be playing behind the corners.
Yeah, so we'll see if this gives Team Levesque an opportunity.
Yeah. It certainly didn't move quite as much as I think they were anticipating.
It's a good weight. So Sharon Levesque asking Michelle Mageau to play the hit and roll here. Hit and roll either side, behind either corner, it'd be good.
Removes the intended rock, just didn't quite get the roll. The rolls out here are a little difficult. If they give too much to the sweep, then they seem to be rolling out. So yeah, it's a challenge to get just the right rolls.
Well, certainly it's very sensitive to the speed, and judging the line is proven a little tricky. So the broom and the weight really have to be in sync.
Yeah.
So Kathleen Ward being asked to try and get a hit and roll here. So first team with a hit and roll barrier to have an advantage. And that's going to hit and roll out. Stays just in play. Well out of the rings. So a chance now for the draw. So Sharon's asking Michelle to play the in-turn draw here around the red corners.
Get a time on this one, see if the ices remain consistent or.
Looks like Michelle got this one started a little early. But she's going to get away with it.
That would have been, kind of top four-ish weight and 14 and a half seconds. So the ice is still running at a nice clip.
Kathleen and Sarah are talking about making that same in-turn come around. Just try to get to the 4 foot.
It's a little dangerous because the rock they're coming around is an opponent's rock very close to the rings. So,
want to be,
if I was the one sitting in the hack, I think I'd be not wanting to be narrow here.
And the person who's calling the line really has to be aware of that and err on the side of coming by 6 inches rather than hit 1 inch of that rock. So Sarah Mallais with her first shot here in the 4th end, leading 2-1 over Sharon Levesque. Here in the second draw, the New Brunswick Scotties.
Yeah, this is moving.
Well, they're all over that. They're all over that red now, so.
Gee, I didn't think I had enough experience to give them the commentator's jinx.
Okay, so Sharon's looking at the intern coming around here.
See, she's moved the broom out a fair bit from where Sarah just had it.
Yeah, so she wants to get to the 4-foot here. I guess another option would have been to come around the yellow corner and lie 3, Bob.
Yeah, and I guess if she made that perfectly, she would assume that Sarah would probably choose to draw around that pile, and she doesn't want her going there, so she's going to try to beat her to it.
Yeah, and if Sarah made that shot, she could just take the end away from her. Even if this is a short top 12.
I think it's going to provide a guard.
So maybe just because they got out there a little wider, Bob, into the slow lane.
I don't really know. I think maybe just the less weight, you know, caused it to get to the curly spot a little earlier.
So that stone just thrown just gives opportunity for Sarah Mallais to get something buried.
One of my observations over the years is sometimes your draw path is dictated by how long you hold on to the rock before you let it go. And if you look at Sarah, she's just out to the hog line before she lets it go, where Sharon's probably letting the rock go 10 or 12 feet earlier than that, so it's going to take a bit more curl.
Yeah, so they have to make sure they broom for that.
Yeah.
Those looks like a good line for Sarah.
Yeah, she's got lots of line, and hoping to move it a bit more there. Yeah, that's a very good shot under the circumstances.
Yeah, not an easy shot for Sharon, but it's there. So like a little more than back line weight, or with that ice, is maybe she's going to throw a hack.
Yeah, I think if she wants to hang around, you can't afford to throw any more than hack, I wouldn't think. There's actually an interesting lineup out front where you could hit yellow, red, and pretty well be a shorty or two. They didn't spend much time looking at that.
Yeah, through the port, yellow, red race, yeah. Probably enough separation you wouldn't have to worry about the drag.
Yeah.
That you would. But all Sharon needs to do is make this yellow rock go away. She's got 2 biters there. So Sharon Levesque with the hammer here in the 4th end.
Yeah. She definitely got some more weight than.
Opportunity for 2 or 3 here.
So it's been kind of the continuing saga from end to end that the individual has a chance to make something bigger happen. Doesn't, and we end up with a lot of ones.
Yep, so Team Mallais with a steal there to take a 3-1 lead after 4. Let's see if we get an update on the other games. So on sheet 3, Como and Colleen, so Como's up 3-1 on Colleen. That's through 4, Bob.
Yes. Yeah. Cornwall was up 3-1 with Hammer in fifth.
So on sheet 2, Crawford is up 5-2 on Cousins through 4. So they're in the fifth. After 5 ends, the teams take a 5-minute break. And in our feature game, we'll take a break as well. So Jane Boyle with her first one here in the 5th end.
She looks like she's continuing to try to apply some pressure here with putting up another guard. Sometimes when people get a lead of 2 or more, they might go top 4 and let the other team decide whether they want to generate the offense.
Right, and Mallais teams, they're not afraid to play with rocks in play. So Sharon's asking Taylor Devlin to put up corner guard. So after 4 runs of play, Taylor Devlin is at 66%, and Jane Boyle has come back to above average and is 78%. And Jane Boyle with her first rock here in the 5th end. So Sarah asking for this top 4.
Top 4, yeah. She trying to get behind the guard that's there and get something going.
So the last time down this end, we saw the first couple of rocks come around to go behind the tee line. Now this one's above, so
it's not fully buried, but it was great weight.
So Taylor Devlin with her second shot. So Sharon definitely wants to make a play on this rock, Bob. We've seen her play freezes in this situation.
She has been, yeah. So this is a bit of a change in strategy. She's been just looking to throw freezes when the hit was quite easy. So in this case, she wants to play backline weight and get it out of that prime position that it's in at the top of the button.
Looks like Taylor has a good shot here.
It's well played.
Yeah, that's job 1. You gotta move that rock out of that scoring area because rings are pretty small with that rock top 4. So Jody DeSola for Team Mallais. Trying for the hit and roll here, Bob. Trying to hit and roll behind that cover.
That would seem logical. I didn't actually see the call. It is proving a little tough to make ice that last 4 or 5 feet to hit and roll behind.
Yeah, and so maybe we'll see teams start adjusting their calls based on that. Try to avoid those types of shots. So through 4 ends, Jody Solo is at 80%. And throwing now for Team Levesque, Michelle Barkley. She's at 81%. Now, so both second stones, curling in the 80s. Jody Solo at 88.
Interesting that with the center guard and the corner guard out there, they haven't come into play yet, but the way these ends have been going, it's usually the second mate's rock or skip's rock where somebody actually gets one in behind and the guard grows up in importance in a hurry.
Yeah, so Sarah asking Jody to play the hit and roll. And she had the broom right on the edge of the rock there. So a hit and stick by Jody. So Team Levesque with hammer. And we're going to try hit and roll. Michelle Barkley with her second shot here in the fifth end. So nice soft weight there, Bob.
Yeah, it's very controllable. But we just keep moving further out.
So we're going to continue to try to get the race for the hit and roll to the middle. So Sarah Mallais asking Kathleen Ward to try the hit and roll. Kathleen is at 75% through 4 ends.
Looks like we're going to get a little motion in this one.
This one.
Yeah. And it's about just a piece buried.
Yeah, so a good roll there from Kathleen.
I was getting to the point that I thought that somebody might have to go to the intern side to try to get the roll.
So Michelle Majo, she's at 72%. So she's being asked to make the hit here.
It's going to have to make a little ice.
Yeah, she was a little outside there. Maybe a little more weight than was needed.
This might be one of the first times there's an actual draw attempt to get around the guard.
Yeah, so that gives Team Mallais an opportunity to play the come around. So after making that hit and roll, Kathleen Ward being asked to make the come around. And apply some pressure here to Team Levesque. Nice finish there. Good job by the sweepers, bring that in.
Very nice. Well judged.
So again, Michelle being asked to play a hit on this shot stone.
Yeah, that looks a little more delicate in terms of the weight.
Yeah, nice control weight there.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get the stick. Good shot.
Well done.
So the team's trading hits here. So Sarah Mallais getting ready to throw her first rock here in the fifth end. Sarah at 47% through 4 ends. Getting a little tighter here, Bob.
And she needs to be a little careful, because if she just hits like a third of a rock, she could actually jam it back on their other counter.
So trying to get Jane Boyle to carve this by.
And she made a valiant effort. Just wasn't to be.
So just Rex. So Sharon Levesque will have a chance to play a come around here in line 2. Looks like they want to play the hit.
Yeah. Actually, not a bad call. Be interesting to know for sure if that back one is on or off. It looks like it might be off.
Yeah. So Sharon Levesque is at 44% through 4 ends. So
yeah, both skips have had some challenging shots to make and turned a few zeros in as a result.
Yeah. So both basically a wash there, a tie for the skips. Team percentage, Team Mallais at 72 and Team Levesque is 66.
I'm sure they're both hoping to improve upon in the second half.
Yeah. So cut this inside a bit. It's unfortunate there for Team Levesque. So now Mallais will have a chance to hit and stick here and force Sharon Levesque into a draw for 1.
I guess at that point she could either play the draw or play that same hit she just attempted. The nose would for a shot.
Sarah Mallais. Their last shot here in the 5th end. With a 3-1 lead. Look, she got that out there a little bit, but with that nice control weight, it just comes back in. Yep, so Sharon Levesque with her last shot here in the 5th end. Try to get her 1. Go into the break down 1.
It's interesting that Sharon doesn't really go down to the house and talk it over. They do a little sign language the length of the sheet. I guess it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you're happy with the end result of the call.
Yeah, I think they were pretty much committed to the hit. It was just a matter of how much ice they wanted to take. So Sharon Levesque with the hammer. He used to play that hit in a little bit of a flop to get shot rock. Looks like he's going to get the hit and roll out. So after 5 ends, it looks like it's going to be 4-1 for Team Mallais over Team Levesque. So Bob, we'll take a 5-minute break, and so everyone grab your Papa John's pizza, and we'll see you in 5 minutes. Great job, Bob. Should I turn these downstairs? Turn these down. Welcome back to the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliant. I'm Kevin Kyle, and with me is Bob Sherrod. We're coming to you from the Riverside Country Club in Rossley, New Brunswick. We're in the sixth end between Team Levesque from the Capital Winter Club and Team Mallais out of Curramancton. In that last end, Bob, I guess there was a biter at the back that was counting, so it was a steal of 2 by Team Mallais to take a 5-1 lead.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether that one was in or out. I'm going to have to get my glasses checked because I would have called it out from here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the overhead camera for this telecast, so we are relying on our old eyes here. So, important end here in the 6th for Team Levesque to get their dues, Bob, with him.
Yeah, she's going to have to get something going, and it's been a bit of a struggle so far, but the game's only half over, and with put some rocks in play, you never know what can happen.
Yeah, and they just got some help there from Jane Boyle, lead of Team Mallais, so there's a guard up there. I don't think Sharon cares what color that is, so...
And when you're down 4, any rock on the sheet is your friend until later in the end.
So Taylor Devlin being asked to put up the corner guard. Sweepers are watching this one come down. Important that this one is short of the rings.
And it is, so it's a good start.
So Sarah's asking for Jane to come right into the rings. Jane Boyle's second shot here in the 6th end.
This looks like a nice line. Probably could have curled a little more for her, but
just slides behind the tee line. So that's in a good spot for Team Levesque,
I would say. Say any rock is positive, but a guard and a rock behind the tee line are particularly good.
So bonus, so good setup early here for Team Levesque. So Taylor Devlin being asked to bring another rock here into the rings.
Looks to me like she's taking a little less ice than the previous rock.
Going to come a little heavy, going to come back to it. I think that might have been the indication from Sharon that I'd like to make the tap on that.
Okay.
I think it was an either or shot in her call.
Yeah, I think some of their calls are being made verbally out on the ice as opposed to with taps and pats to make it easier for the commentators.
Yes. So Sarah asking Jody to make this come around. Looks like they're going to wreck on the guard.
That's certainly not all bad for Team Mallais. They really didn't want that guard there in the first place.
Pro side miss.
This is a situation where she could possibly contemplate using that corner guard that she threw up there.
Would you think about throwing another corner in this situation? Would that be an option, Bob?
You certainly could. It might be a little early to go in, and they'd rip that guard, and then you're hanging on for 2 the whole end. Throw another corner, you might be able to generate a 3 somehow.
It's a good looking shot here from Michelle Barkley. She can put it right where Sharon asked her to put it in the 12-foot. So I think your son Danny would be licking his chops right now if he was watching this telecast to make that run back double, Bob.
He would have already thrown it by now. Yeah.
Would he have made it?
I'd like to say that yes, he would have made the hit. Yeah.
So Kathleen Award. Oh no, sorry. This is Jody with her second. Just misses the double.
It's actually another one that really doesn't hurt Sharon.
Request for two.
For a multiple score.
Yeah, down four. Two will be fine here, Bob. 6 in. She doesn't need to go crazy for a 3.
No, I would agree. Although, like, you need to strike when the opportunity hits. So if you have a chance for a 3, you certainly could use it.
So Michelle Barkley with her second. She makes a good shot.
Yeah, I suspect she was looking to maybe flop underneath that guard a little bit, but
1 and 3 with hammer, so deuce is certainly in play.
Sarah's looking for some bigger weight on this one, if I understand her signals, and might be thinking that there's a double opportunity here with a across the house roll.
Yeah, so Kathleen Awards. Kathleen has made lots of these shots in her long career, so I wouldn't be surprised to see her make this. Makes a good roll.
And I'd say that's what she was actually playing by the look of it, because they weren't sweeping to hit it as thin as you would have needed for the double. They rolled to a very nice spot.
Yeah, more room for error when you're throwing that kind of weight and just playing the roll. If you're playing the heavy shot, there's really only one place you could hit that rock and make it.
So I didn't catch the weight call here. I might be tempted to just play, back of the ring weight and tap it back, but.
So it looks like she's asking Michelle Maggio just to take this off and get a little flop. And to get a little rub off the top yellow. Sarah wants to make one of these red rocks go away.
She is going to play the promotion of her own stone, which, if made, gives you the best result, but also brings a little risk into play.
Scott's being up 5-1. She doesn't mind taking the risk and wants to make sure she gets rid of one of those red stones. Jody trying to hold the line on this.
Certainly improved their situation.
So Sharon asking Michelle to play the hit and roll. Take a roll behind the corner here, Bob.
Yeah, or even half bury behind that corner and set up the Christmas tree affair. think they were actually sweeping that to carve it a little bit when they probably could have been holding it straighter. It's a good throw.
Sarah's going to take a run at this double. This is Sarah's first shot here in the 6th end without hammer. Leading 5-1 over Sharon Levesque. Trying the double.
Well, it's gonna have to curl to make contact, I think. Oh, a little piece. So they're able to remove one of the two rocks.
So Michelle's first indication was a draw, and I was going to make a comment that would be one of the first draws in a long while. I've seen Sharon attempt, but did come back to the head.
Not sure I quite understand the rationale, but as I said, there's more than one way to play the game.
Right. So the come around would be a play for 3, Bob. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, absolutely. If you if you kind of half to 3/4 buried one, we've all seen someone trying to hit either the front one or the back one, and ticking the top one. So it would bring 3 into play. But I say I don't know when she's actually thrown a draw last, so maybe she just didn't feel comfortable.
She gets a long roll. We're almost on top of her own. There's enough room to get the double there, Bob?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't think you want to overthrow the weight, but
so this is Sarah Mallais' last shot here in the 6th end. Looking at 2 opposition stones with the hammer to come. Well played.
Very well played.
Nice double there from Sarah Mallais. So Sharon Levesque will try to peel this off and take the blank and take the hammer into the 7th end, down 5-1.
Didn't actually see the indication. Like, that would seem logical, but there are some skips I know that would say if you have a chance to take one here in the 6th, and let the other team throw at you for a while, might change your luck. So
that's a good point.
But that said, I'd be trying the blank.
So throwing lots of weight, so playing the peel. This looks good, Bob.
Yep. Well executed.
So we have the blank, and Sharon Levesque will carry the hammer into the 7th end. Drawing 5-1. Team right.
Time to do an update on the other sheets.
Yeah, so over on sheet 2, Crawford is up 7-2 on Cousins. That's through 6 ends. On sheet 3, Tacomo's up 4-2 on Korean. For those of you who don't know, Show. Sylvie's now come by her maiden name, Chloe. And here on our feature game,
I think that would be her married name.
Sorry, her maiden name.
Yes,
sorry.
yeah.
And here on our feature game, we have Team Mallais leading 5-1 over Team Levesque. Team Levesque with hammer here in the 7th end. You are watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Line. NB Curling would like to thank its partners, Kruger Products, makers of Scotties, Papa John's Pizza, Sims Home Hardware, and the province of New Brunswick.
Bonspiels like this don't run themselves, and the importance of the sponsors can't be overstated.
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, and the volunteers, the amount of volunteers put on an event like this is incredible. So thanks to all the volunteers here at the Riverside Country Club for stepping up and making this a top-notch event. So Jane Boyle was with lead 5-1.
It's a good one to the top of the 4, and Sharon Levesque is looking for a corner guard to get things going again this end.
So through 6 ends, Jane Boyle is at 81%. And Taylor Devlin, who's being asked to throw up the corner guard, she's currently 77%. So close battle there at lead.
Yeah, so it looks like the numbers are starting to come up a bit. Get a little more comfortable with the ice, maybe.
Yeah, it's pretty even across the board. The score doesn't indicate it, but it's all about when you make your misses or when you make your shots. So Jane Boyle being asked to bring another one in, Bob. Or?
Once again, I'm guessing she's trying to sit one right on top of the one that's in the house. But
so Sarah's going to play. Looks like play it pretty well open now. See Red Rock hit Red Rock.
Yeah, don't think that would have been her plan A to go to the behind the tee line, but
Sharon's not going to ignore that rock in the 4-foot, so she's going to ask Taylor to move that. Try to get hit more behind that corner. How aggressive do you think Team Levesque has to be this end, Bob?
Well, this would not be an indication of aggressiveness here. Like, I think you could leave that rock alone and either throw up another corner or or utilize the corner that you have. But every rock you remove from play is it's just an advantage you can't use. You can't make.
Certainly a deuce wouldn't be the end of the world for Team Levesque this end, but we are getting late in the game. Do you feel like this is an end where she wants to get 3?
Certainly she'd probably take 2 right now and go to the next end and see how she makes out. But I think you need to create some offense and get whatever you can make out of it.
Okay, so Jody DeSola asking to bring another one in here into the rings. Jody's currently 90% through 6 ends. These girls could all play on my Monday night team.
That's the interesting thing about team strategy, where one person would look and say you need to be more aggressive, but someone like Colleen Jones won a lot of games playing it much more defensively than I would have called for. It seemed to work quite well for her.
Yeah, she took a lot of heat for that over the years,
yeah.
And it's one of those situations. She couldn't hear you because of all the Scotties and diamonds in her ear. So Michelle Barkley just with that shot, she's at 88%. So both second stones having a big game. So Jody with her second stone here.
And she probably wanted to hang around to keep Sharon from utilizing that corner guard, but we've seen a few that haven't quite made enough ice to stick around on that outturn.
So Sharon asking Michelle Barkley to come around the corner.
I'll have to work this one hard to get it by.
Yeah. Great brushing here by the.
Oh, I think that's
Taylor Devlin. And
that's as much as you could ask for in that one.
yeah, great.
Well swept.
Yeah, well swept. Michelle Maggio and Taylor Devlin on that one. Great location. Do you pretty much have to take a shot to run back here if you're Sarah?
Oh, I think so. Like, you know, even if you just feel the guard, it's not you're forcing the other team to make everything to get their two.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Kathleen. Kathleen is she's a big shot maker. You'd expect her to make these. So Kathleen is at 83% through 6 ends.
That was a good effort.
Yeah, mission accomplished. Peel the guard. So Michelle Maggio getting ready to throw. Michelle's at 71% through 6 ends. Looks like they're just trying to split the rings here, Bob.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen a draw that's been down this exact path.
Sharon coming out to help help sweep, so be an indication that like they're going to be light.
Yeah, it'll be a corner guard.
Corner guard's covering the 8 foot, so could come into play. So Sarah asked Kathleen to move this stone. Kathleen is at 83%.
Sharon could take a chance at drawing behind the corner guard. She could be buried back there and still be shot rock. She's staying on the more conservative defensive side.
So Michelle Maggio with her second stone here in 7. Good shot there from Michelle. So it might be one of those situations, Bob, where it's a 4 out of 4 for execution and maybe 0 out of 4 for result.
I wouldn't say 0, but
yeah. So Sarah's going to play the hit here. So Sarah Mallais is at 52% through 6 ends. This is Sarah's first shot here in the 7th end without hammer.
Both teams are starting to look like they understand the ice a little bit better, where some of the throws out of their hand earlier really didn't have a chance, and now they do seem to be working the sweeping and seem to be more comfortable with what the ice is doing.
And that's important. You know, we're still early in the tournament. We're only on draw 2. So now's the time to get comfortable with the ice. So hit stick made there by Sarah. So Sharon Levesque with her first stone here in the 7th. She does have hammer. So she'll try and hit and make this roll behind the corner. Still an opportunity for Deuce. Deuce is still in play. Delivery. I'm sorry, Sharon Levesque with her first stone. Front end taking a look, see if it's a biter. Looks like it's on.
I think even if it wasn't, they may take a run at it anyway, just to keep from there being a splittable rock. I find Sarah's team has been able to sort of dictate play the last couple of months and make sure there weren't too many rocks in play like there were in some of the earlier ends when they get themselves in a bit of trouble. They've got the lead. Keeping it relatively clean, she'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, and with the Levesque team, it seems quite content to exchange hits. So. Oh, great hit and roll there by Sarah.
That would be the roll that Sharon's been trying to get for the last 4 or 5 rocks.
At 46% through 6 ends. So close battle percentage-wise at skip. Overall, the Mallais team's at 77%, and the Levesque team is at 70% through 6 ends. So this is one of the first draws we've seen Sharon throw in a while. Just a little heavy. So the Mallais team will steal 1 here in the 7th and take a 6-1 lead. So Team Levesque will have the hammer playing 8. Update on the other sheets. So on sheet 3, looks to be 5-4 for Quillian over up on Como.
She just took a 3 in the last end.
And on sheet 2, it's 7-3 Crawford up on Cousins. Both those games are in the 8th end. New Brunswick Curling would like to thank its partners, Kruger Products, makers of Scotties, Papa John's Pizza, Sims Home Hardware, in the province of New Brunswick. You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliance.
I'd say they've done a nice job with the rink setting out there. You know, curling here a couple of times a week, and seeing how they've got things with the curtains and the scoreboards, and the facility is looking just great.
Yeah, and for some of us, it's the only time we get to play with the curtains and those scoreboards.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Taylor Devlin throws up the corner guard. So Team Mallais playing, asking Jane Bow to put her rocks in the rings. Jane's first one just up there, top 12. Sarah asking this one come to the 4-foot. It'll be interesting to see here, Bob, how aggressive the Levesque team gets.
Yeah, it looks like this one might be a little short, and with another guard in play, game could be on here.
Yeah, I was going to say that's be a situation as a coach. You'd say game on.
Sometimes an indication where with her second rock last in, she went to the back of the 12 and she said, I'm not going to do that again.
What are the options for Team Levesque here, Bob?
Well, with 3 rocks that, I know one of them's in the top of the house, but 3 of them you can all use as guards to go behind. I'd start putting something, rocks into the house.
Now let's certain what the call is here from Taylor Devlin.
Yeah. And to be honest, I wouldn't even mind it going back in the 8-foot. The more room you have to get a couple in there, the better. If you made it too good, sort of just biting the 4 or full 8, then it'd be harder to get more rocks in behind.
Sarah's considering peeling off their own guard here. So that was a mistake.
Yeah, an interesting choice of size to hit it from.
Yeah, she can't remove that red stone or everything's going back up at the 5-rock rule. So Jody DeSola being asked to make the peel.
Well, it worked out pretty well for her.
Yes.
That one at the top of the 12 was never going to do them any good.
So Michelle Barkley being asked to play the come around that yellow stone into the rings.
They're going to want to stay close to this.
Yeah, I thought that might have over curled and been on the guard, but
I guess it was
they know what they're doing.
It was a little more weight than I thought it might have had. I think if it had T-line or less, the guard might have been in trouble.
Yeah, great job of the sweepers there judging that weight. It wasn't going to curl with that weight. So Sarah asking Jody to get rid of this red rock. Good shot there from Jody, makes it hit and roll.
Got to make it difficult for Sharon to turn that back one into a counting point.
She has lots of rocks to come. That yellow rock could still be her friend back there, couldn't it, Bob?
I think so, but she's throwing weight at it, so. I think her.
And the hit and roll out made there.
She could have considered like bringing a draw down, a corner freezing on it, and maybe being able to spill out the opponent's rock without losing her back one. But once again, just a bit more conservative.
And Sarah's asking Kathleen to remove this red stone from the back. Does she want to roll out here?
I didn't actually catch the call, but I would be surprised if she wasn't happy with that. You know, you really don't want to have a rock sitting at the back of the house for the other team to freeze on. When you're up 6, up 5, I guess. Looks like Sharon may try the split on this one. It's a couple of feet in front of the ring. So.
Yep, Michelle Majo. Her first shot here in 8. So they're trying this across the face, Bob?
Yeah.
Short in the guard.
Just run into difficulty when it becomes an opportunity to put a little pressure on Mallais ring. But they've been giving them the easy way out a little bit.
Cafe looking at the double here. Makes the double peel, then Levesque still has the corner guard. Is that corner guard still usable, Bob?
Oh, I think so, yeah. For sure. Especially if you get one, you know, a little higher up in the rings. Even just biting the 8-foot or even full 12.
So it looks like Team Mallais called a timeout here to try to make a decision.
We'll be joined by the coach, Mark Ward.
Kathlea's dad, long-time coach. When Kathleen was in juniors, coaching the girls in the ladies' ranks. So I think Kathleen would like to peel those guards, but she knows that the other team can still make use of that yellow corner, so maybe wants to get one in there first.
Yeah, my coaching gut tells me that after the discussion they'll probably go up and take off those red ones, but but I've been wrong before.
Yeah, so looks like that's the indication from the coach, Mark Ward, to let's make a play. So they're just talking about the angle that they're going to wing these on.
Those are dangerous rocks where they're sitting there right now. You could easily knock one in and roll another one in behind cover.
Both teams get 2 timeouts. So it's first timeout for Team Mallais. So double peel attempt coming up for Kathleen Ward.
I don't know if she'd be able to actually make the double and roll the shooter away as well, but she's throwing lots at it, so.
Looked like she was a little tight there.
A little tight, maybe, yeah.
See you, Lori. Good,
was going to ask Michelle Maggio to play a little split on this split/raise.
We'll see. She's got a second attempt at the same shot if she's able to use that to her advantage.
Weight looks much better this time around.
Yeah. Needs to curl a bit, I believe. On the straight back. See, we have our first final over on sheet 2. Crawford.
Yeah, so Crawford defeated Team Cousins.
10-3 is the final score.
Yeah, so Crawford will go to 2-0, and Cousins will be at 0-2. Yeah, 10-3 was the final there.
Andrea Crawford being their defending champion for New Brunswick, and defending champions always come out hungry the following year as well.
And on sheet 3, so Team Quillian has a 5-4 lead playing the 9th. And Quillian does have hammer. Now in our feature game, Sarah Mallais leading 6-1 over Sharon Levesque. It's just trying to make Red Rocks go away here in the 8th end. This is Sarah's first without hammer. Just playing a quiet weight to tap this out, Bob.
Yes, she is. Yeah, I thought it might miss it on the wide side, but like I say, when you have that quiet weight, you can do a lot with it.
Yeah, nice control shot there. So Sharon Levesque is going to try and duplicate that shot. There's still a chance for Sharon to get her deuce here, Bob.
Yeah, she's obviously more comfortable with the hits, and has been the whole game, playing hits when you know, she could take on a draw and put one top 4 behind the red guard and make it a little more challenging.
Yeah, she's been very consistent in her game plan.
Yep.
It's getting late in the end, sir. Soon she's going to have to make a move and be aggressive. So she's trying to hit and stick.
So I think this is just the difference we were talking about with you know, with a little bit more weight. It's not going to finish quite as much, but she still made the hit and stick.
So Sarah Mallais is going to try and hit and roll to the inside here. Try to force Team Levesque to 1. Next draw will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. and there'll be an evening draw at 7 p.m. here at the Riverside Country Club in Rosslyn, New Brunswick.
It'll be Justine Como versus Sharon Levesque, Andrea Crawford taking on Sarah Mallais, and Sylvie Quillian versus Karen Cousins.
Nice shot there. So it looks like it's pretty much wide open there, so we'll see Sharon. Looks like they're going to just try to blank it up. So this event is a 6-team round robin, and the top 3 teams will advance to the playoffs. And tiebreakers will be played if necessary to eliminate teams. So we got a full slate of curling here at the Riverside Country Club. Come on down. I'm just going to make the hit and stick.
Yeah, once again, like you're running out of ends. If you get an opportunity to
Take a point.
take one, you know, get the next end set up, and with the 5 rock rule, you get an opportunity to get lots of rocks out front.
Yeah, so through 8 ends, it's a 6-2 lead for Team Mallais. Through 8 ends, so we have 2 ends to go. So the teams have a little huddle between ends, talking about how they're going to play this end. I'll take another opportunity to thank the Levesque Curling Partners, Kruger Products, makers of Scotties, Papa John's Pizza, Sims Home Hardware, and the province of New Brunswick. Sims Home Hardware has been a long time sponsor of New Brunswick Curling. Bob, I know back when I coached my boys in under 18, the Burgess family were big supporters of junior curling.
Absolutely, and they had a couple of young fellows that did very well in terms of wins and losses too.
Yeah, and their daughter Abby. Okay, so Taylor Devlin's going to lead off things here for Team Levesque. Likely try to get lots of rocks in play here.
That looks like a good start to the end.
Yeah, great start there from Taylor.
Looks like we might see our first tick attempt.
Yeah, so this rock cannot be removed from play. The shooter will be removed unless it's still removed from play. We'll have to come back up. So Jane Boyle with the tick shot attempt. I think she's made a few of these in her career, Bob.
I would say a lot of the. No, I think you're right, but I think the career leads have got pretty good at this shot. They might have to come up with another plan to keep more rocks in play.
Okay, so they're deciding on where to replace that. Jane's also an engineer, so that helps in making those delicate angle shots. So Sharon Levesque asking for another guard. Mission accomplished here from Taylor Devlin here in the first stand. Got her guards up.
It's certainly interesting to see her call to put the guards with that particular spacing, where I think a lot of people today would try to almost put a second guard on top of the first guard, make doubling the guards off a little more difficult. But
yeah, there is a double peel the opportunity there. So we may see Sharon try to guard that situation. Sarah's asking Jane to come around on her second one. It's just a little short of the rings, it looks, from this angle.
Yeah, I would say. Be interesting to see if Sharon says time to get something in the house, or whether she says one more guard might be fun too.
So she's trying the wide out turn come around here. This is Michelle Barkley. So Michelle's curling 88% through 8 ends.
Don't think maybe she got all the way out to the broom on that one. But say, a rock in the rings and guarded, not a bad result.
Yeah, that looks like a great result. So our leads, Taylor Devlin was at 80% through 8 ends, and Jane Boyle at 78. So pretty much a tie there. So at second, Michelle Barkley was 88, and Jody DeSola thrown now. She's at 89, so very close on the front ends here. So Jody cleaning up the front a little bit there.
And also catching the one in the house.
So Michelle has to come around here again. Looks a little tight to that guard. But the weight's up, I guess. That's why they came off of it.
I think that's the challenge here. If you get it by, it might be heavy.
Just a little rub. So the rub helped the brakes come on there.
Yeah. So the Mallais team able to make a play on that open rock at the back, but it certainly still leaves the guard situation there for Levesque's team, which they desperately need at this point.
And Sarah would like to see this rock roll out of play, Bob. And so she does roll out, so there's no rocks and no catchers at the back.
Got a few opportunities here to get one buried. Haven't been successful yet, but we'll see what happens here.
Michelle Marjo, their first shot here, trying to come around. Michelle's at 69% through 8 ends. A little light, but it's going to stick around out front. And so still a good steal opportunity for Team Levesque here, Bob.
Yeah, I think there's enough stuff out there that Sarah Mallais saying I can't clean it all up. I might as well use it myself.
So Kathleen Award. Kathleen is at 80% through 8 ends. Well,
she's got a good line on this one.
Yeah, if it has the weight, this could be a pistol. Yeah, full weight, right to the 8 foot. So it looks like Sharon Levesque's going to ask Michelle Marjo to try to come around that one. Get a piece of the 4 foot. Well, Team Levesque down a sweeper.
Yeah, I noticed that on the last rock.
Well, this is very close.
That was on a perfect line. Just another
sweeper.
another few brush strokes.
Yeah, another sweeper would have been good there. Yeah, so Michelle Barkley out of the game. Hope everything's okay there. We'll try to get a report from the ice level. So Kathleen is going to try and remove that rock that was just thrown.
Just to make a go-away shot.
So a nice control weight here. She's not overthrowing it. Trying to carve it in a little bit.
Yeah. It certainly seems to have been the key to the good shots in the last few ends, is just that that slightly down control weight. There haven't been too many high-flying ones that have actually hit and stuck on this ice.
So Sharon's going to try the intern draw this time. Sharon's curling 53% through 8 ends.
This turn looks like it might be a better opportunity to get something buried than the other side.
Michelle Barkley's back in the game, so Sharon does have her two sweepers. Those sweepers on it early.
It's making a lot of ice at that point, so a little light.
And first indication there from Kathleen, like let's not give her a second chance at that draw.
Yeah, even something just top of the house to cut off a possible shot to the forefoot.
I'd like to take this opportunity again. Thank New Brunswick Curling Partners, Cougar Products, Maker Scotties, Papa John's Pizza, Sims Home Hardware, and the province of New Brunswick. So Sarah Mallais with her first shot here in the 9th. And she does have hammer. There's a little speed wobble there coming out of the hack. Just trying to get it in the 12-foot or a little deeper works too.
Yeah, I don't think you can hurt yourself if you're just short of the forefoot.
Great shot there from Sarah Mallais. What do you see?
I think perhaps the only shot they have is the one they made the first time on the outturn side, just to catch a piece of the forefoot. I don't see anything else.
And they know it's there because they saw Michelle make that shot, and with one sweeper.
That's right. Because I do believe she needs an inside roll on this one after the hit. I think if she just nose hits, then it would appear yellow would still be shot on the right-hand side.
Yeah, so and this is Sharon's last shot here in the 9th end, so I would think that if she doesn't make this, if she's not shot after this, we might see handshakes. So I think she just hollered down heavy draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got that one started inside. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's handshakes. So mark the final 6-2 for Team Mallais. So Team Mallais will go to 2-0, and Team Levesque will drop to 0-2. Still early in the tournament, Bob. 0-2's not out of it yet?
No, it's not out of it yet. Obviously, if you have a choice between 2-0 or 0-2, you know which one you take, but you can't give up in a 16-round robin. You can make playoffs at 3-2 or tiebreakers at 2-3. You know, it's a strange situation. We could probably do an update on sheet 3.
Yeah, so sheet 3, it's now tied 5-5 with Como and Quillian. And Quillian does have the hammer. So Team Quillian at 1-0 and Team Como at 0-1. So I want to thank you for joining our feature game tonight. And we'll be back on the air tomorrow at 1 p.m. And I'd like to thank Bob Sherrard, Adib Saman, and our cameraman, Lauren Webster. And we'll talk to you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.